listen, again, I'm not taking up for this man at all. I'm not. But you can't tell another human being that I want you to only think about what it is that I want and put yourself aside. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so freaking happy that you're here. Listen, I just want to apologize for not reporting back last week. I actually did do a video for Ready to Love last week, and it was all of 8 minutes long. And I was like, Crystal, you can do better than that, because I know that I do like the play-by-play, and I'm still figuring out, how I'm gonna do this as, doing reviews. So I was just like, okay, let me not put out a freaking 8-minute video when y'all know that my reviews are like 40 minutes to an hour. So I was just like, that's like a slap in the face. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and just let it be what it is. I can insert a clip and y'all can kind of see where I was at with it. Not the whole 8 minutes, just check it out. Just check it out. Anyways, but yeah, it's the calculated moves for me with Alexis, and I'm just like, sis, I need you to self-eliminate too. Like, just throw the whole cast away at this point, because there's so many like ins and outs with this show, to where now the dwindled down 9 just suck. Like, I just want them to throw the whole cast away, but we have to follow this through, which we will. Okay, so now that you're back from looking at that clip, I would like to go ahead and dive into my notes, because this episode was bananas. And y'all, before I even get started, I'm gonna tell you right now, between last episode and this episode, Kyra has really pissed me off. Or we're coming back to the elimination. And last week, I'm thinking like, she's gonna get eliminated. Like, good, because she wasting people's time. And AJ was like, well, you know what? I changed my mind. And I'm just like, okay, AJ, as if you even want to be dealing with any of these women on here. Like, stop freaking putting on, bro. You do not want any of these women. Like, cut it out. But before he changed his mind, Kyra went off like about, well, if I'm gonna choose one, I'm gonna choose my husband. I'm gonna only choose one man, and I'm gonna do and what I'm not gonna do, and this my process, and this, and I'm just like, whoa, like, what you doing? Like, did the spirit of David walk in? Like, what are you doing, sis? Like, first of all, no one's asking you to choose your husband, and it makes me think about how women are like on a time schedule. Like, we really are like, okay, I gotta hurry and give me a man now, and I need to hurry and have my babies and be, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where my mind went when I saw that, because I was like, whoa, who was talking about marriage? This is not Married at First Sight, sis. Wrong show. And she just kind of, she just went off, and before he could say, I made up my mind. And I'm just like, girl, can you calm down? But that just solidifies in my mind this clock, that women have, and how we're racing against it. And I remember thinking the same thing, because I'm like, man, I'm gonna be 30 next year. I'm not married. I'm not where I want to be in life. But honestly, that shit doesn't even matter. It's like, you just gotta live your life the way you want to live it to its fullest. And when you do that, you can enjoy the deliciousness of life instead of racing against the fucking clock that doesn't even exist. But anyways, so AJ, you know, is basically saying that now, since he changed his mind, he has to eliminate Alexis. And I'm like, I'm not mad at this elimination, because it would have been best if they all just left. Like, they all just locked in arms and just all left, because the three of them need to go. They just need to go at this point. But Alexis, you know, she's all anxious and antsy, and first she's thinking it's like going her way, but then he starts to say, you know, well, you know, we'll always, you know, be in each other's lives, and this, that, and the third. And he eliminates her, and she gives a sermon in her confessional about the good Lord. And what she's saying is not wrong. I heard a long time ago that, you know, once you love yourself fully, that's when you'll finally find the love of your life. So I absolutely agree with Alexis' sentiment. I just wish she wasn't so pick-me-ish. You know, like, she was definitely a pick-me-sha. And I'm like, man, you could have swayed this a whole different way, but you was ready to just give it all up in the beginning. So, you know, you really didn't make it hard. You just made it easy, you know, for these men to do and say what they wanted to do and say. And it's unfortunate, and, you know, so sorry, Alexis. So the ladies all meet with nephew Tommy, you know, because it's their week. And he basically lets them know, hey, this is y'all's last one-on-one date. Y'all need to figure out who this, you know, how is everything gonna toss up? Is this really the one for you? You know, basically this is supposed to be the finale, because I definitely thought this was the freaking finale. So when he leaves and the ladies are discussing, Kyra is talking, and she's talking about Jason. And I'm like, AJ basically threw you the lifeline to stay on the show, and you're talking about Jason. At this point, that's Liz's man at this point. Now, I'm in no way sticking up for AJ, like, at all, because y'all know AJ can go on. But I just think that if you are going to stick it out with AJ, then stick it out with AJ. But don't sit there and he brings you back on and you talking about Jason. Like, I thought that was such a slap in the face. And I haven't been so excited about seeing a reunion than I am now. I am over the moon. I want to see how this reunion goes, because sis, like, you real live ass messed up for that. And again, I'm not here for AJ, never have been, ever since he, you know, showed his true colors. But if I were AJ, I would feel away, because, like, damn, you couldn't like, you can't just go to bat for me. Like, she's settling, guys. She settled for AJ. Be honest, okay?
Like this is your man.
Yes.
Look at the screen.
That's mine.
And that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm going to stick beside him.
Vernisha and Joel are having their one-on-one. He goes to her house, and her house is so freaking cute. This scene, guys, I would have loved to have been happy, because those who know, if they were still in my head, my auntie and my uncle, I would be so overjoyed at this scene. But because of how Joel acted towards Vernisha at the trip, and not only that, when he was being spiteful towards her that one time when she could have been eliminated, and then, you know, with her mentioning the fact that he stood her up, like, bruh, I don't even see it for you. That's my auntie, but you're not my uncle no more. Still, I stand by it, guys. Like, he just ruined a lot for me. And it's not, I'm not saying that men can't make mistakes or women can't make mistakes, because we absolutely can. But it's the persistent fuckboy behavior that I just can't get behind. And I'm just like, you are well within your prime. So you shouldn't be acting like a little boy, but you did. Like, that's all you're showing. So it's like, Vernisha, if you like it, I love it, auntie, but I ain't calling that nigga my uncle. I'm just saying. Okay, so the date with Jason and Liz, like, guys, with these dates on this episode, it really wasn't a whole lot, except, you know, for what was being said in these ladies, like when the ladies meet up. Other than that, these dates wasn't a whole lot. But anyways, Jason and Liz, first of all, Liz looks absolutely amazing in green. Like, she is just goals, okay? Like, her body is goals. Anyways, but Jason tells her on this date that she is, you know, that he had his mind made up, you know, weeks ago. And because she was like, you know, I have a question about Kyra. Like, if things would have went differently and she told you that she chose you, what would be our outcome? And the fact that he said, you know, it would still be the same. I don't know if I believe that, because with Liz, still my perspective is it's just about sex with him, that it still comes off that way. And with Kyra, they were genuinely getting to know each other. So I don't feel like he was telling the truth at all when he said that the outcome would be the same, but that's just my opinion. And then, child, it was the gesture of this rose. When he said that he's only given 2 women in his life a rose, and that was his mom and his stepmom, that was a very telling moment. And even though it was good for Liz, I would have taken that as, so you see me as your mama? I'm a mama figure in your life? Like, I give you matriarch vibes? Like, what? Like, what? But she liked that. And, oh. First of all, I don't like that he is equating roses to like this end all be all symbol of like a medal of honor, basically. Like, he's making this like top tier, like, if I give you a rose, baby, that means you the one, because I only gave it to my mom and my stepmom, so that means you the one. First, okay, I love flowers, okay? I love women. I'm sure a lot of women, you know, love flowers. Put it in the comments below. But it's really not that big of a deal. And here's what I mean by that. He's equating the rose to be something more than what it is. And it's like, brother, why haven't you given anybody else roses? But different strokes for different folks. I'm not going to make this a thing. I just thought it was real strange that you've only given roses to 2 women. Tell me if I'm tripping. Tell me if I'm tripping. I just no. All right, Amber and Chris. So Amber, she really showed her true colors at that trip, y'all, didn't she? And the way she handled it with Alexis last episode, it was very adult-like. I can commend her for that because she could have popped off, and she didn't. But she got a little fuck boy in her. Cause she knows how to tell Chris what he wants to hear. She told him what he wanted to hear after the fact, you know, on the last episode, and now she's doing it again. She's telling Chris what he wants to hear. So much to the point to where he's just, you know, he's about to cry, and I was like, oh God, Amber, you a little fuck boy. She got game for days, y'all, because I do not believe what she said when she was like, well, I didn't want to embarrass him. I didn't want to. Bye. So she gave him confirmation about Ron. And then they talk about kids, and it was so backwards because he was like, well, you know, I'm on semen retention. And I'm like, if you celibate, just say that. Like, don't pretty it up, you know? Like, I like Chris. And I would love to work with him one day. But I'm just like, if you celibate, just say that. You know, I know celibacy sounds harsh and final, but just say I'm celibate, you know, because I don't want to be giving myself away to anybody. I wish more men would value what's between their legs the way women do. Like, I feel like if they did that, it'll be more, you know, relationships. It'll be more, you know, solidarity and a lot of foundations of relationships. So I wish a lot of men would take that sentiment, but don't try to pretty it up with that shit. I see you, KG. But when he was talking about, yeah, you know, you don't even have to worry about married because, you know, I'm not having sex. And the way he worded it sounded backwards because I understood what he was saying. Because he was just like, no, it sounded like I want kids before marriage, but I'm saving myself until marriage. And I was like, oh, he tripped up with his words. I understood what he meant. He's like, I'm waiting to have sex until I'm married because I want to have children after I'm married. And I get that part, but I feel like that's something you're supposed to discuss with someone early on. Don't get them all vested into the relationship, and then you're just like, so I can't beat that back up until after we marry. Like, I just, like, come on, bro. Like, you have to be upfront with that type of stuff because women are just as sexually active as men, and you can't just assume that she's okay with that. But like I said before in previous videos, some women are more patient, you know, to wait out until marriage. So we'll see. This date with Kyra and AJ, it screamed, I'm settling for you. Because in Kyra's confessionals, she's basically like, I want to see, you know, what kind of connection me and AJ are going to have. Girl, you've been having dates with this man, him and Jason, since the show started. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, he's all smitten, but he's been redeeming himself to her since they've been dating, like since they've been going on their dates. So it's like it seems that they're both on two fields. I've been putting all of my eggs in one basket with Jason, and she's kind of been stringing AJ along, you know what I'm saying? And just so she can have a backup. And it shows because now it's kind of like, oh, well, it's a fresh start. So where are we? You should know where y'all are if you were actually making a genuine connection. Again, I do not vouch for AJ. I think that he is full of shit. But my whole thing is, what the fuck are you doing, Kyra? Like, what are you doing? As beautiful and as smart as she is, she is in real life playing the fuck out of herself. I don't like it. And I don't like the way it's coming off, because it's like, you are literally actively wasting somebody's time because you're not effectively dating. She's not effectively dating as she thinks she is. She thinks she's real calculated about what she's doing, but honestly, it seems like she's just bypassing time just to stay to the, to get to the end of the show. The ladies meet up again because it's, I guess, time for elimination. And Liz is talking about her date with Jason. And while she's talking about her date with Jason, Kyra starts laughing. And I'm like, that was so rude. And the fact that nephew Tommy had to how old are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's like Liz is telling about her experience. I could see if this was one of those situations where that's my man, I know my man, but it's not. Y'all are on a freaking dating show and y'all are nearing the end. So the fact that you are laughing in this woman's face while she's talking about her beautiful experience is absolutely wild to me. It's like, here you are basically coming after another woman about a man, when in all actuality, the common denominator is the man. And to double back on that, it's really not the man's fault because he made his choice. He made his choice. So the fact that you feel like men should be running after you, you wild. And if you want other men to run after you, by all means, go catch some dusties and they'll gladly do it. But you're not in a game show for men to chase after you. If that's what you want, then go get a show called Kyra of Love. But you're not on that. You're on Ready to Love. So maybe you should stay on task and follow through with the show. If not, self-eliminate. There's no reason for you to be so disrespectful and nasty on this game show where this man chose this woman and you're upset about it because you weren't direct about how it is you felt. You were too busy being analytical and trying to be logical about what it is that you wanted out of these men, and you thought they were going to read your mind and say, hey, this is what I want, and they're not. Like, come on, now they're going to move on to the next. So it's like, I don't like the way she came after Liz. Has shown herself to be a nice, sweet lady, and she's been so, nice and sweet to these women on the show as well. It's like she's not done anything to you. So why are you being so fucking nasty with her? Like, I took issue with that because it's already hard enough, especially as Black women, for us to get along. And to see how that was coming across on screen before this episode was refreshing to watch. And it's like, you keep setting us back with that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for me was way deeper than some man. Why are you trying to knock this lady down behind some dick? Not sorry. Now, everything that Kyra is talking about is bullshit. 1. 2, the men are dwindling down in numbers, okay? You don't have much to choose from since the other women have chosen them already. 3, Jason choosing Liz has nothing to do with David leaving. Jason was gonna pursue her whether or not that man was there, period. So the fact that you're trying to make it seem as though Jason chose her because David left, absolutely nasty and bogus. That's crazy to me. And 4, when all the men were choosing you, you weren't 10 toes down, I'm gonna choose Jason. You were eating it up. You were smiling and giggling. You are saying, oh no, it's just Jason for me. And thank you for attending my TED Talk. When Amber asked Kyra, like, why she was choosing AJ, Kyra's answer started off with, well, I'm choosing AJ because Jason, it had nothing to do with AJ, and it had everything to do with trying to get back at Jason. And I'm just like, sis, you wild. You are wild. Again, it has to be a slap in the face to watch. If AJ is watching this, which I'm sure he is, like the rest of them, I'm sure it has to be a slap in the face that this man changed his mind, didn't eliminate you, and the only person you can talk about is Jason, and you're only being spiteful by choosing AJ. Sis, you wild. Like, you really going out bad, and you shouldn't have. You for the most part were keeping it classy, but the way you are being shown in this life, it's a mess. It's a mess. They give Jason and Kyra a scene. Boy, never mind. Let me stay on focus. So, by no means, guys, am I like standing up for Jason, because I still feel like he's in it for the wrong reasons. I don't care what you say. But this thing with Kyra and him is so telling, because it's like, Kyra, you're just showing up as if you want all the attention. That's it. You just want the attention. And it's like you're not in this for the right reason. I'm telling you, y'all, if I was AJ, I would feel so stupid. I would feel so played. Even though Jason lied about the time frame in which he made up his mind, I feel like he had a good point. Kyra does a poor job about telling other people how she feels. She made almost every date that she went on an assessment. Okay, he kept saying it was an interrogation, but it was an assessment. Y'all were being tested, you know, and by test, I mean not putting out an action and seeing how he'll react. No, it was, I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to grade how you answer them if I'm going to keep you around. And it was never about, you know, how she felt. It was just very white, black and white, cut dry, all of that. You know, it wasn't ever, I never got the feeling of like one of those moments of, oh my gosh, like how romantic, how sweet, wow, she's really, like, I never got any of that from her. It was just real straight to the point, you know, like there was no vibe to be had. That's what it is. There was no vibes. Like there was no vibing. It was kind of like you're checking off, you know, my boxes on my list, basically, or not. And that's why I feel like he had an excellent point when he said that. When Kyra said, Jason, I wanted you to tell me that I wanted Kyra to make the decision and not worry about Jason's decision and time frame, I wanted to throw my phone at the TV. How are you gonna tell this guy, Jason, I wanted you to put everything that you wanted to the side and only worry about my needs because we're not on a game show? Y'all, I was so flabbergasted when I heard that. I just could not believe this woman really said that. She was just like, I just wanted you to tell me that I wanted, you know, it to be Kyra's choice, Kyra's decision. First of all, that third person, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the third person. Which, but the fact that she really said that, absolutely disgusted. I was like, what are you, listen, again, I'm not taking up for this man at all. I'm not. But you can't tell another human being that I want you to only think about what it is that I want and put yourself aside. Like, do y'all understand what I mean? It was so self-centered of her to say that, because she's acting as though they're not on a freaking game show. Not only that, if they were dating in real life, you couldn't say that to them then. It's only when you're in a relationship that you're going to be making those type of sacrifices for whatever season you're in that relationship. But you can't tell somebody early on when you're getting to know somebody, I want you to put everything that you want on hold. Put it to the back. Just worry about what I want. That is crazy. That was crazy to me, y'all. Like, I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, sis, you just making yourself look real foul. So when she started saying, well, my decision is for us to be friends, I was like, he already made his choice. But because he's a gentleman, and I'm not gonna ever deny that Jason is not a gentleman. Because he's a gentleman, he was just like, okay, thank you. You know, I just didn't understand that. It was like, sis, it was already over. Like, there was no changing of the minds at that point. Y'all are nearing the end. What did you think was gonna happen? Did you think that he was gonna say, you know what? You thought he was gonna pull an AJ? Did you think he was gonna pull an AJ and say, you know what? Fuck Liz. Let's go. No! What's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing here? What are you doing? Like, guys, I'm so sorry that I'm asking that same question, but I am very confused at this whole thing. Because literally, what the fuck are you doing, Kyra? What are you doing? And the fact that in the previews, they're going to be meeting these people, family, and she was saying, oh, my mom, you know, I need my family to help me make my decision. Why does anybody need to help you? If indecisiveness was a person, the name would be Kyra, because she acts like she can't make a decision by herself. Why do you need anybody else's opinion as to who you want? You know that these niggas ain't shit. They're not what you want. So be honest with yourself and be like, you know what? I'm just gone. But for the sake of staying on this show, you're indecisive. Okay, girl. When Jason asked Kyra, okay, are you happy now? And she was like, no. And he was like, why? When she said, I don't like the discourse that we had between you and I because it allowed someone else to, you know, get in between us. I was like, you them type of chicks that if a man cheats on you, you're going to blame the woman. That's the kind of chick that you are. Because how are you going to blame Liz? Like, and that's all I hear is you're blaming Liz as if she just put a root on him and just changed his whole mind about you, as if you did nothing to change his mind or to make him solid in his choice. It's like, sis, that was all you. Take some accountability for this shit. Take some accountability. You wanted to drag your ass because you like the attention of these men. And now, because that one person that you want attention from has decided to move the fuck on, that was on you. You had a simple choice to make, and you didn't make the choice. This is not Married at First Sight. You did not have to make this as heavy as it was. You could have been, oh no, fuck it. Listen, you seem like a stand-up dude. Let's do this. But you didn't. You had no interest in being with AJ. He's just attractive. So they all meet up. They're in a gathering. And everybody looks absolutely amazing, especially the women. My God, all those women's bodies. Listen, that makes me very hopeful about the future for me, because I'm like, these women's bodies are amazing. That's where I'm trying to be. So, and they're well within, you know, their 30s and 40s, and they look great. So anyways, I'm getting off. So everybody looks great. And Liz and Jason are over there, you know, booed up, you know? And Kyra's over there super salty with AJ. And it looks like she just settled because she's not happy to be around that man. It looks like she's forcing to be around him. At first, it was all in the sake of the chase. You know, she was enjoying him chasing after her. Now it's kind of like, well, now I'm stuck with you. That's what it looks like. And she says, these two are getting under my skin. Well, maybe you should have just self-eliminated. But for the sake of making it to the end of this show, you decided to settle. Instead of being, first of all, you should have just been upfront with AJ and said, I really want Jason. But you didn't. You didn't. So now look at you. Molded as fuck. Anyways, nephew Tommy tells them that they're going to be meeting each other's parents next week. I swear I thought this was the end. But it's not. And that's okay. We're gonna rock this out. I'm actually super excited about July for Married at First Sight. Guys, please put some more shows in the roster, guys. I'm super excited about reviewing other shows. I thank y'all so much for coming back and watching my videos. I know that missing that week, it really ate me up inside, but I'm telling you guys, what I was going through was super, super, you know, emotional and deep, and I wasn't going to be able to give you anything full out. So yeah, so make sure y'all subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know that you're looking at, or that you're going to be notified for more content like this. Put your suggestions down for other shows. And yeah, all love. Peace.